Hey everybody, it's the Crypto-Anarchist here, and I wanted to bring you guys a video today where I talked about why the silver markets could completely get blown to the moon by a small exiting of the crypto markets into silver. The reason why I'm going to specifically talk about silver and not gold is because the crypto markets, it's generally people who don't have that much money. And they're looking for big returns, so the crypto markets I think will be more interested in silver than gold. I made videos in the past talking about how you should use silver and gold as a hedge. I still think that's the case. I think silver and gold are the best hedges against crypto. But in today's video, we're going to focus more on silver. And the one thing that people don't really understand about silver is that the highest estimates that you can find, this is the highest estimate I could find of above ground silver bullion, puts you at around 3 to 3.5 billion ounces of silver. So that really means that, if everyone in the world tried to buy an ounce of silver, all you could get is half an ounce, and that's a very small amount. And so half an ounce of silver is like $8.50. So if you make that same, calculation for something like Bitcoin or something like, of that nature, yeah, the returns on silver can actually very much they can be very similar to that of cryptocurrencies, the returns on silver. And so if silver is to be used as a global monetary unit, which it absolutely could be, because you guys got to remember, cryptocurrencies are new. Gold and silver have been used as money since the beginning of time. Okay, so gold and silver will always work. There might be certain things like cryptocurrencies might be better at certain things than gold and silver, and I would say that is the case, but gold and silver will never go away. But if we, again, if we look at this, there's about 3.5 billion ounces above ground silver. There's about three and a, or a little over 3.5 billion ounces of gold. So it's very like the amount of gold and silver that exists that people can get their hands on. It's very similar. So the one thing you got to remember about gold and silver here is that if they both get used as money, like if they're both used as money equally, the price of silver has to rise massively to get near that of gold. Now, I don't think silver will be used as money as much as gold will. I think silver will always have a lower value than gold. But you can see right now, if there was a mad push into precious metals, there would be such a bottleneck on the supply of silver that the price would just massively skyrocket. And the reason why the price of silver, it'll massively skyrocket, but the reason why I think if it massively skyrockets, it'll still get brought down to a ratio much lower than that of gold. Like, I don't know what the ratio would be, maybe 1/16 the price of gold. But right now, the price of silver, just so you guys know, you can get 77 ounces of silver per ounce of gold, and I think that ratio is kind of crazy. But the global production of gold, and this sort of is what a lot of people think the price ratio should be more similar to. You basically produce 1/10 the amount of gold that you do of silver. So this is why, again, like the production of silver is much higher than the production of gold. This is why I think the price of silver, even if it were to skyrocket, it'll be brought down and eventually settle at a much lower price than that of gold, just because its production rate is much higher. So even though there's a total amount of above ground silver and gold, like it's very similar, the above ground holdings of gold and silver, it's about 3.5 billion ounces for each metal. If gold and silver started getting used as money, silver, because its price is much lower, would see a much higher rate of increase in its price, but then because it has much higher rate of production, you would also see a much greater drop once the price started to drop. Once the trend continued and you went into a bear market, silver would be affected much more than that of gold. And so this is something that I don't think a whole lot of people take into account, especially like looking at that picture I had at the beginning, where you just look at the market caps of these cryptocurrencies. If there's 3.5 billion ounces of above ground silver, that basically puts you at around it's pretty close to $50 billion. So let's say, if you just had a huge amount of liquidity come from Bitcoin, let's say, 5%. Let's say you have 5% of all these top 5 coins, or not top 5, but top 15 coins. If you had 5% of all of these coins, I don't know exactly how much that is. That's got to be close to around 400. Actually, it looks close to $500 billion. If you had 5% of that, that is $25 billion going into the silver market, and that would, because prices, they're not figured out by market cap. Even though $25 billion is only an increase of 50% of the market cap, you could see a quadrupling or a quintupling of the price. And so this is why I think silver is really going to take off, because of this cryptocurrency craze. I know Peter Schiff. I really like Peter Schiff. He makes a lot of good points, but he makes a lot of bad points on cryptocurrencies in particular. Other than cryptocurrencies, I really like Peter Schiff. But the one thing he says is that he says the cryptocurrency craze, it's really taking off because gold should be taking off, but because gold is not, crypto is taking off. So he tries to make everything about gold, but I actually think the reverse is more true. I think that cryptocurrencies are what is going to be pushing the elimination of fiat currencies. And if cryptocurrencies push the elimination of fiat currencies, I think that cryptocurrencies will also boost the price of silver massively. And I think gold will be the last one that will increase in price. I think gold will be the laggard here. I think gold is the one that is reacting to the price of everything else. So I think Peter Schiff is wrong when he says gold is the reason that cryptocurrencies are getting big, is because people actually want to buy gold, but they're not making any money off of it, so they turn to cryptocurrencies. I think that's somewhat wrong. I think cryptocurrencies have shown something that, the gold and silver believers never thought was possible. And I think because of that, the cryptocurrencies, the adopters of cryptocurrencies who have made a lot of money, they're going to move to silver, and they're just going to push that price through the roof. And then once the price of silver starts to rise, I think the price of gold is going to rise. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all I had to talk about. I really hope if you guys are making a lot of money from this cryptocurrency craze, you're putting some of it into gold and silver. Again, if you're looking for big returns, I think silver is the better purchase. There's a lot of ways you can buy this gold and silver. You can buy it online. I don't have any sort of relationship with Peter Schiff's company, Gold Money. That's probably a really good way to use the gold and silver if you want to use it for transactions. There are fees. There's storage fees for using Gold Money, but use it at your own risk. I don't have any involvement with Gold Money. I've never even signed up at Gold Money. I have no idea exactly how it works, but I would assume it's a pretty good service. Otherwise, buy physical gold and silver. That's always been my preference, but it's really something you should be looking at. And I know a lot of people talk about gold and silver like they are, failed investments. People talk about how they invested in gold and silver before cryptocurrencies, and they still haven't made like almost any money whatsoever. And it's like, don't worry, like gold and silver is much slower than cryptocurrencies. Don't worry that you haven't made money with it yet. The size of the cryptocurrency market itself can completely shoot silver to the moon. It could quadruple the price of silver without even blinking, So there's a lot of reasons that I am bullish on gold and silver in the future. But again, I think it's cryptocurrencies that are going to push gold and silver up and not the reverse way, because cryptocurrencies are doing something like they're implementing everything gold and silver promised, but gold and silver have never been able to deliver on. Cryptocurrencies are delivering that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. There will be more coming out soon.